Rocky Hill Congregational Church, changes 1808 to the present. The Rocky Hill Congregational Church Meeting House stands prominently on the corner of Old Main Street in Rocky Hill, just up the hill from the Connecticut River and the Great Meadows. It was built in 1808, 216 years ago, in a once bucolic town of less than 1,000 inhabitants. Let's look back and acknowledge the many changes to the meeting house. Our original steeple looked like this meeting house in Bennington, Vermont. Wind damage and lightning impacted our steeple so much that it had to be redesigned into a more sturdy tower. Members thought to improve the tower by adding a clock and a bell in 1835. The bell sounded the alarm for fires, which sadly affected us in 1921. There have been two additions to our original meeting house. The first parish house lower level in 1948 and the upper level in 1953, and then the second parish house in 1993. Chapin Hall was renovated in 2007. The drab, dark hall was changed into the light and airy space we know of today. There have been historic changes inside the sanctuary as well. The meeting house was built without heat. Foot stoves and heated stones were used prior to 1827, when wood stoves were added. In 1903, a furnace was installed and steam heat in 1914. The wood stove in the northeast corner was replaced with pews in 1914. We don't know when the chandelier was installed, but documents say it is not original to the building. The space was originally lit by natural light and candles. Oil lights were introduced in 1850, then gas and finally electric lights in 1915. The entire sanctuary floor was raised in 1886, creating the steps we now know from the narthex into the main auditorium and lessening the distance from the main floor to the galleries. The galleries, the balconies, were used for meetings, Sunday school lessons, and activities. In 1903, the West Gallery was lowered to the level of the East Gallery. Our pulpit was changed 4 times. Originally, it was a high pulpit with a Palladian window behind it, similar to this church in Bennington, Vermont. In 1842, it was lowered to become a modern-style pulpit. Around 1887, it was renovated by Edward Tryon, and in 1938 it was changed to look like it does today, except for the digital display, which we added since COVID in 2020. A slave gallery existed in the southeast portion of the gallery from 1808 to 1842. In 1842, it was boarded up. Recently, we mounted a draft plaque on its wall in honor of those enslaved people who were kept behind those walls. The organ you see today is the 4th or 5th organ in this meeting house. A small organ called a melodeon was first installed in 1857, then a reed organ, then a pipe organ in 1895, and a larger pipe organ in 1908, of which Andrew Carnegie contributed $2,000. An electric Baldwin organ was introduced in 1949 and lasted 26 years before our present organ was installed in 1975. At one time, the singing choir performed from the choir loft, and the bell choir performed from the East Gallery. Within the last 10 years, both choirs have moved to the front of the sanctuary. Temporary staging, lighting, and a curtain were installed for the singing choir, as well as temporary tables, music stands, and lights for the bell choir. The choir loft is used occasionally now by Julie Hagan, our music director, who plays the organ. Its primary use now is as an audiovisual control room. There have been many changes in the 216-year history of this meeting house, and I hope that this short look back will help us with transforming our future. Change is a process born out of necessity where we grow together.